just wanna be with you.
All right, so I've been wanting to make a video about this, or I've been thinking about it, and I kind of wanted to break down a little bit about the Nova. And for my fans, for the people that watch, I thank you guys. I kind of want to share a little bit, as much as I can, about how fast we went or how fast we go. So this is my fourth outing this season with the Nova. I went to 2 outings last year at the end of the year after I built the car in 42 days. So we had the Dart. The Dart was heavy. The Dart was out of chassis. I need to quit saying we. Because I do all my work myself. I threw everything from the Dart into the Nova in 42 days and went out there and made a hit. I don't know, ran like a high 4 in the 8th and was able to shake the car down. That was the best pass of last season. 3 passes, it went like 480 something with like 4 pedals. But the car stopped, the car went straight. I was stoked. The next weekend, loaded up, went to a no prep race. Was going a couple of rounds, had my oil drain back leak, got under my tire, and broke my wheelie bars. I literally went and bought back in and then got back to my pit only to find that my wheelie bars were snapped. So packed up, went home, rebuilt the wheelie bars. So I came out this season, put a tune-up in the car, shook the tire. I went to Woodburn to test, shook the tire, broke the water box, my ice box training cooler, which I had put in the car, which was out of the Dart. I didn't have it for 2 races last season. So in the off season, I put it back in there because the training was getting really hot. It's just easier for me to turn the car around in between rounds and to rush and thrash. Anyway, so that was my first outing this year. Then I go down to Reading. Car's going right. We're chasing that, but we're adding more power. Smacked the wall. Did a video on that. The next race we go to Reading, we're still suck, chasing suspension problems, but the car's really close. We're wheeling the whole length of the racetrack, but I mean, it's really close because it would lightly touch the wheelie bars, which that's to set the tire. That's a tuning aid. It's not to control wheelies. It does help control wheelies. I mean, in the sense that the car can't really flip over backwards with sissy sticks on there, but it's a tuning aid. So a lot of people have a misconception about what wheelie bars do. But anyway, got the car to go straight, but it was wheeling all the way down the racetrack. But it wasn't on the bars the whole way down the racetrack, just lightly at the beginning. So that's why the car's really close. So I had high hopes. Hey, man, we're going to go to this heads up race down here. It should be pretty soft class. I'm going to get to show all my friends and family that never get to come to any of my races because they're far away how fast my car is. I'm really proud of it. Some of my friends that came out hadn't seen my car since it was like, the Dart was like naturally aspirated. And so it was like a 560, 8th mile, 880, quarter mile car. So anyway, my racing program's grown a lot. I am no tuner by any means, but let's look at this here real quick. So here's a time slip. That's my 60-foot time. That's pretty fast. Like, there's a lot of people that go sub 1 second 60 foot. There's a lot of people that swing a bat and tune cars all day long. They tune cars all day long. And to get a car to run that is a pretty big accomplishment. So I am not a professional tuner. I am a mechanic and I work on my own stuff, but that's my motor. That's my chassis work. That's my rear end housing that I've fabricated. My 4-link bars, you know, my wiring. I mean, you name it. So I'm a self-taught kind of self-made guy. And so I'm proud of this, and I'm not putting shade on anyone else that doesn't do all those things that I do myself. It's just a huge accomplishment because I know guys that just don't go that fast and they have all the help and all the money and And I don't have any of those things. I don't have all the help and I don't have all the money. But I'm out here, I'm going to work my ass off and keep learning everything that I can about a sport that I love. And anyway, let me show you guys another time slip and some other important things. Hang on. So let's look at this. The story of 2 time slips. So we got this, a 101 60 foot. Pretty fucking bitchin'. Then we got this. Now this is my time slip from Woodburn this past weekend when I was a suck. When I was making 4 pounds of boost and leaving like a turd. But these numbers, this is the 330 number, the other most important incremental here. Let's close this off here. This 330, so the 60 foot's like the most important number for a good ET. And we want to go sub 1 second 60 foots. It's part of my goal. But this was a super turdy 60 foot, which led to a super turdy 330 foot. And then somewhere around in here, my boost is coming in. So this is called the back split. Now, a lot of people don't understand 8th mile racing. So when you tell them, oh, I got a 4 second car, a low 4 second car, or my no prep stuff, we're running 440s or 450s, they think, oh, well, it's 450s, that'd be like a 9 second car. No, the math doesn't work that way. It's just exponentially faster. So that mile an hour, 160 in the 8th, but this back split's like a 1, you minus this from this number, so you got like a 154 back split. That's not that fast. But still went 760s, but you could see we scrubbed off a bunch of mile an hour. So I'm going to kind of hopefully explain how to read this. Obviously, we were going 160 in the first 660 feet. We scrubbed off a ton of mile an hour, which is in turn going to make you lose some ET. So let's look at this guy's slip, my opponent here, and he will keep his stuff kind of private. But this is it. He was making great A to B passes, pretty solid 60 foot nitrous car. So they make a little power early. Turbo cars, a little harder 60 foot Pro Charger blower cars. Little easier nitrous stuff to 60 foot. Here's a pretty good 330. Also with a 154 back split, 166 on the 8th. And then you see we're still running about 3, what's that? 3/10 off of his time here, about 3/10 off of his time here. So our back split's pretty close, and our 8th mile to 1,000 feet is pretty close, and he went 699. So in our area, no prep cars, if we got cars running, somewhere around this time, which we do, this kind of shows people how fast they are. I mean, there's 6 second cars on really crappy marginal surfaces. And this is a great, this guy was super consistent, and he ended up winning the event, and good job to him. But I want to show you, you're not winning anything if you got garbage 60 foots. And we couldn't make any power, which is, we had a wastegate falling off of the car. And that leaves about a 2.5 inch hole. That leaves a 2.5 inch hole in the exhaust, and that's no spoolie for the turbo, no boosties. So anyway, gonna go fix my junk and hammer down again. It's kind of funny, the other day, I was pulling data logs off my computer, and I had 350 data logs. So that's how many passes I've made with a Holley ECU. Some of that stuff I was using to control nitrous, but that was kind of short-lived. So that's just a lot of seat time. And that's how I've learned what I've learned. But, I'm no professional tuner, but if anyone needs help scaling a car, I got scales. I got some knowledge. If anyone needs some track help, I could be your guy. I wouldn't mind being a super tuner someday. So goals, but if you guys need some help, hit me up. 101 60 foot, baby. See ya.